this session because I'm sure many people are going to be asked for the recording. So speak to your leaders. As soon as we finish, we'll record it. We will transcribe it and then send it to the leaders. What I would like to share with you this evening is things that we speak about almost every training. That is the basics. Basics simply means, how do we build our business? How do we get our business to grow so that we can become successful, or so that we can offer the people that we meet a solution for their challenges that they're going through? Because remember, what is a business? A business is an entity that solves people's problems, and in return, we are paid the money, either through a service or a product. That is the solution we give to the public so that we can be paid for whatever it is that we are solving. So, what are the basics of our business? I know there's some people who joined the business today, some joined yesterday, some joined last week, some joined last month, last year, or some have been in the business over 20 years. Whatever time you've been in the business, we all do the basics of our business to grow our business. And what are the basics of our business? The basics of business is, first and foremost, using the products. All of us need to use the products for a very simple reason. Number one, we are supporting our own business. Number two, we want the people that we speak to have confidence in what we are telling them, because we can share our experience of the products with them. That is really why we use the product. And we're supporting our business. And another thing is, our products are just excellent. For the last 3 weeks, I've been going through YouTube and videos. If you click any video on go to the YouTube and search for Scientific Advisory Board members, it will give you a ton of information. Short videos, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. The chief product officer, Dr. Susan Beck, excellent presentation on some of the. She spent about, I think, 90 seconds or less to explain as simply as possible what our products do and the benefit. Why does she do that? So that we can make it easier for our customers to follow our products. So the first thing of our business is use the products. Second step, share the business and the product. It simply means introduce other people to be business builders and promoters of the products. The people you meet who are not interested in the business become our customers. That's the second thing we do. The third thing is personal development. We'll speak a little bit about that on the second part of my presentation. So, using the products. 3NN, excellent product for cellular nutrition. I think Betty has spoken quite well about 3NN. All of you who are listening to me, all distributors need to be using 3NN because it provides the foundation for good nutrition. It helps our cells to absorb nutrients efficiently. Use the cleaning products, LDC, Super 10, make your home look clean and neat. Our products are biodegradable. They are concentrate. It simply means the company does not want customers to spend money buying plastics. If you buy 1 bottle of of LDC, it will make for you 6 liters of the usable product. If you buy 1 liter of Super 10, it will make for you 11 liters of usable product because they're concentrated, so that you don't have to waste money buying plastics. And number two, that plastic will somehow get into the environment. So, the company saw this long time ago. Take good care of your skin. Those are simply the things that you need to do to make sure you're using the good product. CalMag, Full Motion, salmon oil for arthritis. All these products are good for our own use. So personal development simply means you take time to learn what the products do, okay? Let's go a bit more detail on how to build your business. First step, as you may have been aware, we use the PV system to measure the business volume. Each product has got PV attached to it. For example, 3NN 60 capsule is 17 PV, LDC is 10 PV, Super 10 is 10 PV, makes 20 PV. The salmon oil, you have one for 25 PV, which is 90 capsules. CalMag is 12 PV. Full motion, I think full motion is 17 or 16 or 17 PV. So use the products to build your PV level. Why do you need to build your PV? Because you want to build a manager business. And when you've built a manager business, the people you've brought into the business, teach them also to become managers. That's how you build an organization, all right? So manager structure, very simple. Use the products, get some customers, eventually you'll be able to reach 300 PV. If you've got 6 to 8 customers who buy products from you, and you're also using the products, it's quite easy to reach 300 PV. 2, the people you sponsor in the business, help them to reach at least 100 PV. If you do this, you'll be building a business which is over 500 PV. And then start duplicating this process. Duplication simply means you teach the people you brought into the business to do what you do. And what do? You use the products. You share the products with your customers. That means you sell to them at retail price. And then you also build a team. That is simply what duplication is. Let's look at the actual process of sponsoring, building a team. Because building a team is the essence of growing a large business. Our business can be defined as building a large group of people who consistently do a few things every single day over an extended period of time. How do you build people? How do you build a team of sponsoring? A name list. Start with 200. Your goal is to reach 200 people, but start with 20 people first. Why 20 people? Because 20 people, the person who's brought you into the business will help you to share the business with the first 20 people on your list, okay? And the reason for that is your sponsor is more experienced. They have had all the questions, the challenges, the responses people have, the objections that people have. So your sponsor will help you. That's one. Second step, invite people to see the presentation. Either a Zoom presentation like the ones we do on Monday, or a one-on-one presentation when you meet face-to-face, or a two-on-one presentation. That means a new person with their sponsor going to see a prospect, or you have a in-person presentation. That means at a venue, you invite a group. You can even do it in a home. You invite a large group of people, and one person who is experienced explain the business concept of the business model. That is presenting the business. Once you presented the business, and a very important thing is always use tools as much as possible. Why do we recommend that you use tools as much as possible? Because even a new person can use the tools. Tools like sharing a magazine, tools like sharing there's a 2-minute 38-second video from Neolife, or a 10-minute presentation video that explains the business in brief. All those are tools, and the reason those tools are made is to make people who are new. For example, you sponsored somebody today, or they just joined the business, they don't know what to say. Simple. They take the phone, they ask their sponsor, look, I've got a prospect that I want to speak to. Can we set up a meeting? Your sponsor said, yes, set up a meeting, we'll go and see them. In the meantime, share a tool or a video that explains the business in brief to your prospect, okay? That's why a tool is very important. Once you've seen the business, the next step is to follow up. We say in our business that the fortune is in the follow-up. Why? The average person does not respond or make a decision until you've spoken to them 5, 6, or 7 times. That is a norm. Very few will actually make a decision immediately and start the business. Some you'll have to follow for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Some you'll follow for a month, 2, 3 months. Some you may even follow for a whole year. So you need to be patient with yourself and the people you speak to. In fact, The thing I love about this business, it trains you to be patient because it is in your own interest to be patient, right? And then when you've got people into the business, they've signed up, and then you teach them how the business works. This is where the duplication process actually starts. I remember this W. Why is this W very important? It's very dear to me. It gives me in one page the process of sponsoring, the process of bringing somebody into the business. Write a prospects list, invite people to look at the business, and use a tool unless you're going to see them one-on-one, use a tool, either a magazine or a video or a short presentation. Then you invite them for a business opportunity presentation where the details of how the business concept works. And then once we've seen the business, you do a follow-up. Follow-up simply means that when somebody has seen the business, you need to ask them questions to see whether, yes, they want to join the business, or no, they're not ready yet, or they'd like some clarification, or they're simply not interested. That's what the need of the follow-up is important. Have a very simple system how to follow up your prospects. Write their names down and tick the number of times you're going to follow up. You will see how effective you are in terms of your follow-up. And remember, every prospect has got there are three possible outcomes. One, they say, yes, I want to start the business. They pay for their kit and you get them started. Or they say, I'm not really interested in the business, but I like to use excellent products for my health. They become a customer. Or, no, they're not interested. This is not for them, not even the product. Those are the three possible answers. And you, as a person who is prospecting them, you need to accept that not everybody will see the value of the business. Not everybody will see the value of the product. Some people just say, no. Maybe you haven't sold the dream, or they have a lot of fears, they have a lot of misgivings about the product or the business. That's really their choice. The important thing is to guide them to make the right decision for them. Okay? That's what really this W is about, is the work we do. The work we do is to show the business to new prospects to join our business. A very important thing that I'd like to share with you, or I've shared with you before, is you need to have a daily method of operation. That simply means every day there's some things you need to do to grow your business. Why is that important? Because consistency is what actually makes the business grow. Write down your goals of the things you want to achieve. 2, set aside 2 hours to invite prospects for the presentation. If you're part-time, if you're full-time, maybe more hours. Then present the business, the opportunity to people. And a very good way to present this is, one, is to share your story. Your story is very, very powerful because when you share your story, a prospect thinks, okay, if this guy went through this, I can also do the business. The most powerful thing we have in our business is story. You will notice if you're a distributor that every presentation we always invite a guest to share their story. Why? Because the prospect who's watching the presentation says in their mind, I can do what this person has done. That's why it's very important to share your story. So present the business. The fourth thing you need to do every day is read a good book. Why is it important to read a good book? Because you cannot give what you don't have. And how do you give what you have? By inputting good material in your mind. You need to read good books that explain the business idea, business building books. You need to read books about product knowledge or material about product knowledge, the product catalog, the brochures that you have, whatever it is. And then you need to read a book about personal development, books that help you to become a better person. There are excellent books if you look at the Getting Started workbook, they have suggested some very excellent books in that document. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success Through Selling by Frank Bettker, The 7 Steps of Becoming a Professional Network Marketer by Eric Worre. We've got excellent books. Go for No. We've got very, very good books in that So at least buy one, read it through, but don't read it just once. The first time, read it as a storybook. Then read it again with a pen or a highlighter. You read 15 minutes, highlight something that strikes you. The idea is to master the concepts in the book and start putting them into practice. And then add new names to your list. Why is this important? Because when you start the business, you've written 20 names, 100 names, 200. At one point, you'll have spoken to all those people. Some of them will join, some of them may not join. But you need to find a way to meet new people. How do you do that? Always be aware of people around you. If you go to a restaurant, you're at the bank, you've gone to see a doctor, you are in a taxi or a matatu, whatever it is, always be aware that somebody next to you could be your next serious leader. Exchange phone numbers with people. Don't speak to them about the business the first meeting. Get to know them and then share the business with them. Now, let's talk about personal development. Sharpening the saw. There's a story of two men who are cutting wood. One was a very strong guy. He used to really work hard chopping his wood. The other guy was average built, but every time he would stop to sharpen his axe. But he was able to fell twice the number of logs than the first guy. Why? He was sharpening his saw, his axe. What is sharpening the saw in our business? Sharpening the saw in our business is just becoming a better person. I always like to use the acronym of ASK: attitude, skill, and knowledge. Those are the three areas where you need to develop yourselves so that you can become a better distributor, so that you can become a better leader for your team, so that you can grow your business. The first one is the attitude. What is attitude? Attitude is a frame of mind, is a mindset that you possess that helps you either succeed or not. And the better attitude you have, the more successful you're going to become. Let me give you an example of a good attitude and a bad one. In fact, I was reading this in a book. There was a young man who was sent to a country to sell shoes. So he went to that country and he found that nobody has ever worn shoes. There are people who have never seen shoes and don't wear shoes. So he called his headquarters and said to the boss, there are no people who are wearing shoes here. Please give me a ticket to come back home. This is not a good market for us. So they sent him a ticket and he went home. They sent another guy to the same market, the same country. And he found that nobody wears shoes. And the second guy said, boss, make as many shoes as possible. Here, nobody's wearing shoes. Therefore, we've got an incredible market to fulfill. The same situation, but two people reacted completely different ways. You see, the people who have a success mindset always see the opportunity to grow the business. They see opportunity to help somebody become successful. They see an opportunity for somebody to improve their health. So how do you develop the right mindset? Number one, keep company with positive people, the people who only encourage you to go after your goals. And my suggestion to you, be very careful about the people you share their dreams with, because there are very many dream stealers. People who discard, you could have a fantastic dream, but don't share it carelessly with everybody you meet. Okay? So keep company with good people, read good books, the books we spoke earlier about. Keep a positive attitude, put positive things in your mind. Okay? The second part of the skill of personal development and sharpening the saw is developing skills. Skills is the things you do, and that comes from repetition. You cannot build a skill until you actually do something. If you want to share the business to the prospect, you have to do it. The worst time you will ever do anything is the first time, because from there on, you're going to improve. So do it. I remember when Betty and I started the business, I was really consumed about this business. At that time, Eagle Team had a very clear structure of presenting the business. 4 steps: introduce yourself, tell your story, talk about the need to build the business, explain how the business works, it's called the logic, and call to action. Ask people to make a decision about the business. Very simple, structured way of presenting the business. And I practiced that at home. I would practice in the office during lunchtime. Anytime I had an opportunity to practice, I would do it, because I knew that the moment I learned how to do it, I wouldn't need my upline leader to do it for me. Within 2 months, I was able to do a presentation. So skill comes from repetition. Very simple thing that Eric Worre said: plan, do, review. Plan, do, review. Plan what you want to go and do it, review it, see where you've made mistakes and where you can improve. So skill comes from repetition. You need to find out what skills you need to build this business. The skill of meeting and knowing new people, the skill of inviting people to look at the business, the skill of presenting the business, the skill of touching new people in the business, the skill of servicing customers, the skill of selling events, because one of the bedrock of our business is events, right? The third aspect is the K, knowledge. You need to have knowledge about the business. You need to have knowledge about the products. You need to have knowledge about the marketing plan, the compensation plan. You need to have knowledge of what skills you need to develop. Okay. If you meet a let me say you meet a friend or a stranger and you notice something about them, you ask a question, hey, so and so, it looks as if you're limping. What's the problem? Said, I've had arthritis for a long time. I've been taking medication and this thing doesn't seem to be improving. And I don't know what to do. Oh, how long has it been going? I've been like this for the last 5-6 years. I've visited so many doctors. Some of them even suggested surgery, but I don't want surgery. Keep asking the question until you get to the gist of the matter, until you understand the person's real need. That's when you can suggest, by the way, I think I may have a solution for your challenge. If you have rheumatoid arthritis, or if your problem is osteoarthritis, which is bone related, there are 3 products I would recommend that I think will really help you: omega-3, CalMag, and Full Motion. I would suggest that you try these 3 products and see how it works. All right. What have you done? First, you listen to the person's need. 2, you have knowledge about what products would help or fulfill their need. 3, you've linked together their need and our products. That is why it's important to have knowledge. Okay. And this comes from reading, attending training, learning what the products do, and learning. In fact, one of the best skills I would recommend for you to develop is the art of listening. The art of listening, in fact, is a very, very powerful skill you can develop. Why? It's got therapeutic benefits. You see, when somebody really realizes that you actually listen to them, they'll be very thankful because you understand their position. So learn the skill of listening. If you do these things, you're going to grow in the business, and the more you grow as a person, you will see your income is going to match how you grow. 3 things in sharpening the saw: develop the right attitude, develop the right skill to build a business, and develop your knowledge base about the products, about the business plan, the compensation plan, policies and procedures, and books that help you to become a better person. If you do these 3 things, develop your attitude, your skill, and knowledge, you're going to be a better distributor and a better leader for your team. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you very much for spending this evening with Betty and myself. We hope that some of the ideas we've shared with you are going to help you grow your business to the next level. So thank you very much. Good night and God bless.